Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Bunti and today I'll be talking about Microsoft. If you have been following me on the YouTube channel or the Telegram group, you will know that I'm a big fan of Microsoft. Before I start, I need to give the disclaimer first. I'm a shareholder of Microsoft and currently own 90 shares and will likely continue to invest into the company. You can take a look at my DCA in the past. My purchase decision is not based on technical analysis. I look at the business, understand their product and services, assess whether the business has strong moats around it, study their decisions in the past to determine if I like the management or not, and also study their fundamentals such as revenue growth, earnings growth, etc. After determining that it is a company that I would like to invest, I will invest my money into the company over time. By doing so, I will minimize the short-term timing effect. I will measure my success by looking at the long-term results. With that said, let's get into the details. Let's start from an introduction. Microsoft is an US multinational tech company. Its best known software products are the following: Microsoft Windows line of operating system, Microsoft Office, Internet Explorer and Edge web browsers, Xbox video game consoles, and Microsoft Surface lineup. Microsoft was founded by Bill Gates and Paul Allen in 1975. It rose to dominate the PC operating system market with MS-DOS in the mid-80s. The company IPO'd in 1986, which is the year I was born. Currently, Microsoft is considered one of the big 5 companies in the US IT industry, along with Google, Apple, Amazon, and Facebook. If we look at the market capitalization of Microsoft, it is currently at $1.8 trillion, just behind Apple. For sure, Microsoft is very successful. However, it is not as popular as other tech stocks such as Amazon, Google, and Facebook. Even the FANG stocks have left out Microsoft. The FANG acronym was coined by Jim Cramer in 2013, who praised these companies for being dominated in their markets. Initially, it was only FANG, F-A-N-G, with Apple, the second A in the acronym, only added in 2017. Indeed, after the dot-com bubble crash in 2000, Microsoft's share price has been stagnant for more than a decade. It is only after Satya Nadella took over as CEO in 2014 that Microsoft's share price started to go up. It has increased by more than 5 times since Satya took over. This shows that the CEO and the management is extremely important to determine the success of a company. Microsoft business is very huge, so today I will just give a brief introduction and won't go into very details. Also, I will discuss about whether Microsoft is an innovative company that will compete with other big tech. If we look at the revenue breakdown of Microsoft, we can see that their source of revenues is very diversified. The biggest source comes from the server products and cloud services, which include Microsoft Azure, a cloud computing service, Windows Server, server operating systems, GitHub, a code hosting platform for version control and collaboration, SQL Server, a relational database management system, System Center, a set of server products to help corporate system admin to manage a network of Windows Server and client desktop systems, Visual Studio, an integrated development environment or IDE, which include code editor to develop computer programs. The second largest source is Office products and cloud services, which includes Office 365, a line of subscription services as part of the Microsoft Office product line. Microsoft Exchange, a software that provides the back end to an integrated system for email, calendaring, messaging, and tasks. SharePoint, a web-based collaborative platform, and Microsoft Teams, a business communication platform offering chat and video conferencing, file storage, and application integration. The third source came from Microsoft Windows. This is considered the legacy business, a desktop operating system that commands 76% of market share. Fourth largest revenue source came from gaming or Xbox that include video games consoles, games, streaming services, Xbox Live, and Xbox Game Studios. The fifth largest revenue source is LinkedIn, a professional networking platform and employment-oriented online service with 740 million registered members from 150 countries. There are other smaller segments like search advertising such as Bing and devices like Surface Pro and laptop, which I won't get into the details. Let's take a look at the business growth. In terms of the business growth, the cloud services and gaming segments are growing quite fast with year-over-year growth rates of 50% and 40% respectively. This is followed by server products and cloud services at 26% growth, Office 365 at 21% growth, and dynamic products at 21% growth. Other segments are growing at single-digit percentage. Here I'm sharing the revenues in amounts just for your reference. Why do I think that Microsoft is a good investment? In the following sections, I will name 3 reasons. Reason number 1 is Microsoft Azure. In one of the previous videos, I mentioned that when it comes to stock selection, I like to invest in companies that enjoy a tailwind on technological trend. One of those trends are migration towards the cloud. Cloud computing and services are much better than traditional services because it is cheaper, more scalable, better security, improved mobility by allowing mobile access to corporate data via smartphones and devices. It is a matter of time that companies will move their computing storage to the cloud. In terms of the market share, Microsoft Azure is currently behind AWS, but they have almost doubled their market shares from 11% in 2017 to 20% in 2020. Their products and services must be good in order to keep winning the market share. Cloud business require a big scale in order to be successful and offer a competitive pricing to the customers. AWS is still leading in this market. However, Microsoft offers a good alternative to companies that are afraid that AWS will learn their secrets and offer the similar services to compete with them. According to the Business Insider, Microsoft Azure Global Corporate Vice President Tom Kean said what sets Microsoft apart from rivals is trust and that it is never focused on competing with the customers in the respective industries. Although the executive didn't call out AWS by name, but his comments reflect a common refrain in the tech industry, which is that customers are hesitant to sign on with the AWS because they could one day find themselves competing with Amazon itself. My take is that as long as AWS has a reputation that they might end up competing with the customers, Microsoft can ride on this and offer an alternative. Right now, Microsoft is laser focused on cloud adoption, hence I do believe that they will be successful in this space. Next, I will talk about the gaming segment. Last year, Microsoft announced that it will acquire ZeniMax Media for $7.5 billion in cash. The deal gives Microsoft access to successful game franchises such as Fallout, The Elder Scrolls, and Doom. In 2014, Microsoft acquired Minecraft for $2.5 billion. From this acquisition, we can see that Microsoft is focusing more into gaming segment. There are two reasons I'm very bullish on Microsoft's strategy related to gaming. Reason number one is subscription model. Microsoft Game Subscription Service, Xbox Games Pass, allow the users to play through any of more than 100 games that are available. The value of that subscription will go up over time as the full versions of all upcoming first-party games will hit the service on their release date, with some developers pushing the price of a game to $70, having access to brand new games for a $19.99 or $14.99 monthly subscription is a bargain by comparison. Subscription is a superior business model because users who love the product or service will just continue paying for the subscription. For example, if you are subscribing to Netflix, Spotify, or premium news subscription, what is the likelihood that you will unsubscribe to save money? You won't. This is why businesses that mainly rely on subscription will command a higher valuation multiple because those sources of revenues are deemed to be more stable and sustainable. Of course, this is given that the quality of the product or services is not behind competitors. Reason number two is exclusive games. Microsoft acquired ZeniMax Media and confirmed that some future games will be exclusive to Xbox PC. This makes perfect sense. Xbox is competing with Sony PlayStation in the console business. In order to attract more gamers to Xbox ecosystems, offering exclusive games is a great strategy. Because for gamers that want to play those specific games, they will have no choice but to get an Xbox. Later, they will subscribe to the Xbox Game Pass and discover other great games on the platform. Minecraft sales has topped 200 million, with 126 million people playing the games monthly. To put that into perspective, Grand Theft Auto 5 is in distant second with 120 million copies sold. This just shows that Microsoft know how to execute the gaming strategy well. Overall, I think that gaming segment will be the growth segment for Microsoft. They have some cool strategy and healthy amount of capital to acquire game studio and slowly build the moat around it. Next, I will talk about other innovations that Microsoft has. Here, I will only give one example, which is that OpenAI is giving Microsoft exclusive access to its GPT-3 language model. GPT-3 has been created by OpenAI, a research business co-founded by Elon Musk, and has been described as the most important and useful advance in AI for years. GPT-3 stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer Tree. It is the third version of the tool to be released. In short, this means that it generates text using algorithms that are pre-trained, that have already been fed all the data they need to carry out their tasks. If you ask GPT-3 a question, you will expect the most useful response would be an answer. If you ask it to carry out a task such as creating a summary or writing a poem, you will get a summary or a poem. In the description of this video, I will include a link to an interview with GPT-3. I highly recommend that you take a look. So by teaming up with OpenAI to exclusively license GPT-3, this will allow Microsoft to leverage its technical innovations to develop and deliver advanced AI solutions for customers, as well as creating new solutions that harness the amazing power of advanced natural language generation. There are still many other innovations that are happening behind the scene, which I won't cover in details in this video. For example, recently Microsoft just announced Microsoft Mesh together with Microsoft HoloLens, which would enable presence and shared experience through mixed reality applications. To summarize, I think Microsoft is a great business run by effective management team, have a huge moat around the business. Their core businesses such as Windows and Office provide decent free cash flow, which then can be funneled into growth areas such as cloud business, gaming business, and other innovative projects. If you compare Microsoft with businesses that are yet to make money, such as Palantir, Neo, Lemonade, I would say that investing in Microsoft is a lot safer because they are not relying on the capital market to access to capital to grow their business. In fact, they have free cash flow to buy back their own shares. When it comes to innovation, they are not behind other businesses also. Should we ignore good companies like this just because there aren't many YouTubers that are promoting it? But it's fine, I guess I'm actually promoting it now. Anyway, as a standard disclaimer, this is not a financial advice. Please do your own due diligence because it is extremely important. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!